She cut his palm in the duel, then froze as her blade's runes flared to life. The sun hung low over the training grounds, painting the air with streaks of gold and crimson. Dust swirled around the ancient stone courtyard as Kaelin adjusted her grip on her blade. She could feel the sweat clinging to her palms, the faint tremor of anticipation coursing through her limbs. Across from her, Roran, the apprentice who had bested every challenger in the last season, flexed his fingers and gave her a small, cocky smile. "Ready?" he asked, the confidence in his voice masking the tension Kaelin could see in his eyes. She nodded, her heart hammering. This duel was more than just a contest of skill. It was a test of destiny. Her blade, forged in the hidden fires of the Emberforge, had always hummed with quiet magic, but she had never dared awaken its true power. Today she would. Or she would fail trying. The first clash was abrupt. Roran lunged with a swift overhead strike, which Kaelin parried, sparks flying where metal kissed metal. The sound echoed like thunder across the courtyard. She pivoted on her heel and slashed low, grazing the edge of his armored thigh. He grimaced but maintained his stance. "You've grown sharper," he admitted, circling. "But not sharp enough." Kaelin's mind raced. Every strike he made was precise, a blur of practiced motions honed over years. She couldn't match him with speed alone. She had to make him falter. Taking a deep breath, she tightened her grip and moved with deliberate intent, her eyes never leaving his. Then she saw it, a tiny opening in his guard as he overextended on a thrust. Heart pounding, Kaelin leapt forward, twisting her blade in a swift arc. The tip sliced across Roran's palm with a sharp red flash. He cried out, dropping his sword and clutching the wound, blood dripping between his fingers. Kaelin stepped back, expecting relief, a sign that victory was near. But instead, a chill ran down her spine. Her own blade began to hum, a low, resonant vibration that pulsed through her arms. Then the runes etched along the edge of the steel flared to life, glowing a fierce, icy blue. She froze. The power was beyond anything she had summoned before. Her fingers tingled, her lungs tightened, and she could see the air ripple around the glowing runes. The courtyard seemed to hold its breath, shadows stretching unnaturally as if the walls themselves were recoiling. "Kaelin!" Roran's voice trembled. He stared at the blade, fear eclipsing the pain in his palm. What have you done?" I don't know," she whispered almost inaudibly. Panic bubbled beneath her calm exterior. The blade had always responded to her intent, but this was different. The runes pulsed with sentience, as if alive, and her thoughts were no longer entirely her own. Roran, still on one knee, tried to reach for his sword, but the glowing blade emitted a sharp, almost musical hum, and he flinched back. Kaelin's instincts took over. The world narrowed to the radiance of the runes and the pounding of her heart. Carefully, she sheathed the sword, willing the magic to subside. The glow dimmed, but the air remained charged, thick with latent power. "I didn't mean for this," she murmured, trembling. "You cut my palm, and now you've awakened it," Roran said, his voice steadier but laced with awe. This isn't just a weapon, Kaelin. It's a legacy." Kaelin sank to her knees, gripping the hilt as if to anchor herself. Memories of her master's warnings flashed in her mind. The blade chooses the wielder, does not obey blindly. Its power is a reflection of your soul. Her chest tightened as the truth hit her. This duel had tested more than her skill. It had tested her spirit. Roran extended a hand, not in attack, but in cautious solidarity. "I've seen legends like this," he admitted. "Few survive the first awakening. But I think you will." Kaelin looked up, meeting his gaze. Her fear still lingered, but so did a budding resolve. The runes flickered again, softer now, almost like a heartbeat. Slowly she rose, the sword in her hand no longer a mere instrument of steel, but a living extension of herself. "You need to learn control," Roran said, finally retrieving his own sword. "If you can, we can train together." "Harness it." Kaelin nodded. She could feel the hum of the blade resonate with her own pulse, the power waiting for her command rather than running wild. A small smile broke across her face, a mix of relief and anticipation. Today she had cut her opponent, but more importantly, she had glimpsed the awakening of her destiny. The duel ended not with victory or defeat, but with understanding. Kaelin sheathed the glowing blade completely, feeling the rune's warmth settle against her palms. She looked to Roran, who offered a nod of respect, and then to the horizon where the sun finally dipped beneath the mountains. The world had changed, she realized, and so had she. And somewhere deep in her chest, a quiet voice whispered, "This is only the beginning." Kaelin froze, her blade humming as the runes along its edge flared to life in a fierce, icy blue. The courtyard seemed to hold its breath, the shadows stretching unnaturally. Roran, clutching his palm where she had cut him, stared at the glowing weapon in awe and fear. I don't know what's happening," Kaelin whispered, trembling. The blade pulsed as if alive, resonating with her heartbeat, and she realized it had awakened, not just responding to her skill, but to her intent, her very spirit. "You cut my palm, and now you've awakened it," Roran said cautiously. This isn't just a weapon. It's a legacy." Kaelin sank to her knees, gripping the hilt as her master's warnings echoed in her mind. The blade chooses the wielder. Does not obey blindly. Its power is a reflection of your soul. She realized the duel had tested more than her technique. It had tested her heart, her resolve. Roran extended a hand, offering solidarity rather than attack. "Few survive the first awakening. But I think you will." Slowly, Kaelin rose, the sword no longer just steel but a living extension of herself. The runes softened, resonating with her pulse rather than running wild. She met Roran's gaze, fear replaced by determination. "You need to learn control," Roran said, retrieving his own weapon. "Together we can harness it." Kaelin nodded, feeling the hum of the blade settle warmly in her palms. Today she had cut her opponent, yes, but she had also glimpsed her destiny. The duel ended not in victory or defeat, but in awakening. She sheathed the blade completely, and as the sun dipped behind the mountains, a quiet voice whispered in her chest, "This is only the beginning."